Well, hi there. This video is going to be a little bit different. It dawned on me that 3/4 of the 10 people who may see this channel will have no idea what any of it means. So I'm going to try and make an effort to explain as well as possible what's going on my end of things. What the heck is Pokemon? And what does it mean when you play it? Well, Pokemon is essentially built around its battle system. You have your team of Pokemon against your opponent's team of Pokemon. And that's how it goes. You have a battle, each of you have one Pokemon out at a time, and you fight until one of their hit points reaches 0. Where it says 278 on Shelly, when it reaches 0, Shelly will faint, and I'll have to send out another Pokemon. And that is very important. When the entire team is fainted, you win the battle. So I'm going to try and explain to you the structure of battle right now. Whenever you come with eye contact with the trainer, whenever they see you, it's not really eye contact, whenever they see you, they pop up with a little exclamation mark and they fight you. So now we're going to fight, because she saw me, and that's just how these games work. You know, it doesn't have to make sense. This is slavery and dogfighting, it doesn't have to make sense. So we both sent out our Pokemon. And it's from here, stuff gets intense. Because each Pokemon has its own stats. Attack, defense, special attack, special defense, and speed. Pokemon is a turn-based system, so both Pokemon will select a move, and whichever Pokemon has a higher speed stat will attack and damage the opponent first. When it uses a physical attack, it uses attack, and the opponent's defense is important. When it uses a special attack, the opponent's special defense is important. And each move is either a physical attack, as a status attack. It's either a physical attack or a special attack, although Shelly does not have a special attack, so I can't show you one. But that's what a physical attack looks like. You see a little fist under the category. And this is an excellent time to bring up typing. Shelly is a poison and flying type. So whenever I use a poison or a flying type move, its power is multiplied by 1.5%. This is known as the same type attack bonus. So whenever I use cross poison, instead of doing 70 power, it will deal 105 power because I am also a poison type. 35 is added to 70 before damage is calculated. And moves have a typing, and then the Pokemon have typing. And if types are good against each other, so for example, poison is good against grass types. So if I were to use cross poison with Shelly against a grass type, it would deal 105 and then it would deal 210 power because it would double it. So it would get multiplied by 1.5 because Shelly is also a poison type, and it would get multiplied by 2 because the other Pokemon was a grass type. And typings all interlock, they interact. There's like 24, 22, 26 of them, somewhere in there. And it's all very, very complex, but you pick it up, and I'll try and point out whatever type advantage is going on at the moment. So now we're going to go back to the actual battle. We're going to choose Fight. We're going to use Acrobatics here. I will outspeed this Heatmor, so I will get to damage it before it damages me. If it damages me, it may use a status move called Stockpile to raise its defenses. Oh no, it goes for the Flamethrower. So Flamethrower will damage me. That wasn't bad damage, but I will outspeed here and kill it. Which is very important. The opponent now has 2 Pokemon left. And right here, since I defeated one of the opponent's Pokemon, it's prompting me to switch my Pokemon. You won't ever see this again, because whenever I do a randomized Nuzlocke, I'm going to turn this feature off because it makes the game too easy. So they're about to send in Glaceon. Okay, I'll just send in my fighting type, which has a very, very big advantage against this ice type. And that's an unfavorable matchup for the opponent. Whereas if I was forced to keep Shelly in, they would send out the Glaceon, and Ice is very good against flying, so Shelly would be at a distinct disadvantage. But here I can just use Aura Sphere and delete it in one hit. There is more depth to battles beyond attacking as well, and we'll cover that as soon as Jason levels up. Whenever a Pokemon defeats another Pokemon, it gains experience points. This little blue bar under Jason's hit points will increase by about 4,000, I think, here, and that should be enough for him to level up. When that blue bar reaches all the way to the right, Pokemon will level up. So he'll gain 4,300, he'll tack on there, and he'll grow to level 84. And as you can see, when a Pokemon levels up, all of its stats increase. So that's why I'll point out level differences. If a Pokemon's 2 levels up, it's going to be inherently more powerful than yours. If a Pokemon's 20 levels up, you can't win that fight. Stats aren't everything. Pokemon have their own natural stats as well, so some species have an advantage over the other. Like Ampharos versus Flaffy. Ampharos will destroy the Flaffy because Ampharos has like 30 more on every stat. So I mean, there's just not much you can do sometimes. Leafeon is not a bad matchup for Jason here. It's fine. They're neutral toward each other. Like, nothing here is good against each other. Like, Leafeon has Leaf Blade, and Leaf Blade won't do super effective damage to me. I'm just going to go ahead and queue up Dragon Pulse, but first I'm going to show you that I can swap between any Pokemon in my party. I can swap into West if I wanted to, Mew, Ben, just have to click them and then click Switch in. I can do that, and another cool thing I can do is I can go to Bag, and I can use Medicine on my Pokemon to heal them. Some people like to turn off in-match healing, but since I'm playing a randomizer, I'm going to turn it on. Because I don't want some random legendary to just come roaring down the street like, "Roar, I'm a legendary, I'm going to knock out your whole team," and you lose, you have to start over, you're going to cry. I don't want that to happen to me, so I will turn on healing. And healing will also allow me to dig myself out of a pit. Like, you can continue healing your Pokemon after they get hit until the opponents miss, then you can get the advantage back and win. So healing just gives me a lot more outs, and I have a lot invested into a run. Like, I don't want to have to start that all over. It's rough on me, and then it's rough on the people who are actually watching, because it's like, oh great, now I have to go through the same stuff all over again. I want to avoid that as much as possible, but I still want the game to be challenging, so I will be turning on healing. I used a Super Potion, which will heal by 50 points. So now Leafeon will still get to move, because that was my turn. I used my turn to heal up Shelly. So Jason will take damage from the Leaf Blade. However, Grass is not very effective against Steel. I was mistaken, I thought it was neutral, but Grass is not very effective against Steel, so Jason doesn't take it, takes half damage. Jason will now use Aura Sphere, which will do the base 120 damage, because it has base 80 power, and he's also a fighting type, so it deals 120. The Sunlight is strong. So what Leafeon did there was use a status move which changed the weather. The weather is not often used, and if it is used, I'll call it out, but it used Sunny Day, which decreases the power of water moves and increases the power of fire moves, and makes a specific move called Solar Beam only take one turn to use. That's very, very niche, and I'll call it out when it happens, so don't worry about that. I'll go ahead and use Aura Sphere and clean up this battle here. But that's about it as far as battling goes. So I'll defeat the trainer, and then the trainer will give me money I can use to buy more potions and more Pokeballs. And I can use Pokeballs to catch Pokemon. I'm going to show you how you do that. Because generally, this is my medicine. Whoops, I'm going to go to regular all items. We're really going to scroll down. Scrolling is kind of slow. It's extra slow for the person experiencing it, I swear. But we're going to use Escape Rope here, and we're going to fly back to the very first town, because I feel like that's where I can best demonstrate the out-of-battle parts of the game. I'm going to fly all the way back to Telnor Town, I think it's called. It's been a while. Yeah, Telnor Town. And we're going to go up to the first, like, cave-ish area. But an important other thing to note is the Pokemon on the top left will appear first. I'm going to put Yam out front, because Yam's level is a little more close compared to the other levels in the area. So he'll give you guys a better gauge for what's going on around these parts. I'm going to run myself up to a cave area I know about. There's a trainer that would have fought me, but I've already fought him. I'm just going to go up through the route, go through some tall grass. Pokemon will jump out at me. I forgot to mention tall grass. So tall grass is where you find Pokemon. Pokemon are in tall grass, and they're in caves. They're not anywhere else. Like, if I'm out here, Pokemon won't jump out at me. If I go in the grass, they'll jump out at me. And wild encounters? Oh great, nice. Variants. So Insurgents is special. Sometimes it's just randomly a double battle. So this is nothing. Don't look at this. Don't even worry about this. This is nothing. This never happened. Don't pay any attention to the man behind the curtain. But what I was going to say was, in a wild battle, you have an option, and it's called Run. You can run away, and I don't really know how running away works. It's just sometimes the game lets you run away. You can just click Run, and it'll say got away safely, and you can go on with your day. That's what you do in 99% of encounters with Pokemon, unless you want to catch them. So I'm just going to move to an area that I like to catch Pokemon in, because it has Ghastlies, even though I just encountered 2. Because each route has each place in the game has different Pokemon associated with it. Okay, this is a Caterpie. An important part of Pokemon is catching Pokemon. You go around and you collect Pokemon to add to your team. And Pokemon are easier to catch if they're weakened, so I'm going to use Water Gun here. Water Gun will not kill this thing, will barely do any damage at all. We're going to click Water Gun again, get it in a yellow zone, about a third of its health, and we're going to throw Pokeballs at it. And I throw Pokeballs very similar to how I use Medicine. I would go over to Pokeballs, and I select Pokeball. There are different types of Pokeballs, but that's not particularly relevant right now. I'll call it out when it gets to that point, but the Pokeball will shake 3 times, then you'll catch the Pokemon. I hate this game. Whatever, we'll continue throwing Pokeballs until you catch it. That's what it is a lot of times. You throw a lot of balls at Pokemon hoping to catch them, because they have like a 50% catch rate. That's just an example. Very few have a catch rate that high, but you weaken them, and then it gets higher, then you can catch them. So I caught the Caterpie. Congratulations, a little fanfare for me. So I caught this Pokemon, which is cool. It's very, very cool. I just have 2 more main points to really note here. You can only have 6 Pokemon in your party at one time. So I caught that Caterpie and it got sent to what's called the box, which is where all the extra Pokemon you have go. I'm going to go into a cave. And the cool thing about caves is that there's no wild grass. No matter where you go, Pokemon can jump out at you. So for example, I'm just running around. I'm not in tall grass, but Pokemon will jump out at me. Please. You're making me look bad, game. Please. Give me encounter. Please. No. It's making me look bad. It's sabotage from the game. It's written in the code. Oh jeez, it's still happening. It's still happening. There we go. So I don't have to be in the tall grass. They'll just pop out at me. And there are also different Pokemon in this cave compared to what was out in the fields back there. Just very, very important. I'm going to run away from this thing. I'm going to run out of the cave. And now I'm going to get encounters every 5 seconds. I'm going to use an escape rope after this, because I'm not making you guys sit through this. Run away! I was hoping I'd fail at running, because sometimes you just seem to randomly fail at running. I'm sure there's some way that smart people can use to calculate it, but it doesn't work out for me. But I just used an out of combat item. Yeah. So one last point is that when you look at my team, you'll notice 5 Pokemon who are really buff, really big, really scary looking, like this one. And then you'll see one that's tiny and small. And you see there's always ways to make Pokemon bigger, and that's called evolution. So when Pokemon reach a certain level, or certain other criteria is fulfilled, and they level up, they will evolve. And this is a very, very cool process. And luckily for us, I have a Meryl in the party with maximum friendship. So I can use a rare candy on it, it'll level up, and it'll evolve. Yeah, I was trying to learn Bubble. That's another good point. Thank you, game. When Pokemon level up, they learn new moves. So your moves get more powerful from the beginning. Like Yam was using Water Gun, which was only 40 power, but now he's going to learn Bubble, which is still 40 power. You know, I just eat my words all the time, dude. But Pokemon learn more powerful moves as time progresses. He learned Water Gun, and he learns Bubble. I'm going to get out of this menu. He didn't level up. His friendship wasn't maximum. I'll just throw up an image of Azumarill and show you what he's supposed to look like and just end the video in shame because I'm bad at planning.